conquer. Characters.
Hey, what's up, dude? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Practice.
Oh, Mike. It's kind of being slept on. I mean, she not being slept on completely, but um, she kind of is, right? And what I'm talking about is the matchup between her and Fujin. Now, I haven't really seen anybody talk about the matchup between Fujin and Jade. And when Fujin first came out, the first character I went to was Jade, so I can lab against the character to see what she can do. And one of the interesting things that she can actually do against Fujin, right, is that she can pretty much annihilate his neutral options, right? And Fujin is really strong in the neutral. He pretty much breaks neutral because of his back two and the options that he gets off of it. And he can control a lot of space with his crossbow, right? And the weird part is that nobody is actually talking about Jade. And how she can pretty much annihilate his ability to do certain stuff, right? Now, you guys are probably feeling a little perplexed, trying to figure out what I'm talking about when it comes to a situation like this. And that's okay. You know, I'm going to try and do my best to baby step you guys into this situation here, right? Jade can cause a problem, right? Now, a lot of high-level players say that, you know, Fujin versus Johnny Cage, that's a 5-5 matchup. Pretty much saying that they're even because they're both neutral gods. So Fujin can counter Johnny Cage when Johnny Cage does certain stuff, and Johnny Cage can actually do the same thing as well, which I agree with, because if you learn the matchup and stuff like that, right, you'll understand why that is. Hi, how are you, bro? I'm doing alright, man. Trying to make it out here, but I'm doing alright. I found the best way to destroy Stomp. It's when you use the Raiden's double teleport. Yeah, that's a pretty good way of doing it. Now, the reason why I put that as the title for this live is because I honestly believe Fujin can get dealt with in the neutral against Jade, right? Now, I haven't really seen any Jade players at a high level actually go against Fujin and actually demonstrate this, but I'm actually just going to show you guys this real quick, because I'm a little surprised that nobody's really talking about Jade being able to deal with Fujin in the neutral based off of a certain special move that she has access to. So let's just get started on that, right? So if you pay attention to Fujin's back two, right, which actually breaks neutral, right, it's considered a projectile, right? He has a crossbow that is really good for space controlling. It's pretty difficult to jump in on a character like this. He can control, you know, like a lot of space. He gets pretty nice hit advantage when he hits you with his crossbow, which is his back forward one. He gets a hit advantage of 8 frames, and if we look at his back two, it is 18 frames on startup, right? So if you do the math, when he goes for the back two again, it'll come out 10 frames because he can move you know, those frames before the opponent can, right? But I want you guys to see this real quick, right? Now, don't get it twisted. There is a mind game here, but if the Jade player makes the correct reads on Fujin, right? Because the thing is that if the Jade player makes that read, it's going to fuck his neutral options up, and he's going to have no choice but to close the distance and prevent Jade from doing that, right? So let me see if I can show you guys this shit real quick. So the move is the dodging shadows move, right? Now this move I think is really overpowered, and I'm gonna show you guys why that is. Remember how Fujin can pretty much break the neutral? Watch this. You see that shit? So what does this mean exactly? This means that you're not going to be able to just simply, you know, take it upon yourself to, you know, just recklessly go for your back two all the fucking time. Because against a character like Jade, like, she's gonna make sure you understand, like, you're not finna do me like you do those other characters in this game, right? Jade has zoning. She has a temptation move, which is a parry. So like, let me actually show you guys that as well. So where is it? Temptation, there it is. So right there, she'll get hit, right? If I was to do it at a range like this and the Jade player knew about that, as you can clearly see, I just got hit. Now right here, she'll get hit, right? But in an area like this, I'll be the one to get hit, right? So that's actually kind of a scary situation to deal with. Now another thing is that she doesn't necessarily have to do that just yet. And the reason why I say that is because she has a blazing nitro kick that can shut out a huge portion of this character's options, right? So just watch. Right here, Fujin can attack her, but if he was to try and do it right here, right? Let me back up a little bit. Hold on, I just fucked it up. She'll be able to hit him. Another thing she can actually do to prevent this from happening is that she could kind of back up a little bit and she can whiff punish him. Her options are unlimited, right? But I'm gonna go back to like the dodging shadows move real quick. This move can be countered. Now keep in mind my crushing blows, as you can clearly see, is off. Now the reward that Fujin gets if he really wants to take it that far, right, is if he times his skywalking move correctly, right, he gets a crushing blow. Now you have to do it at the correct spacing, and then you should be able to get a crushing blow, but it's going to be kind of difficult. There we go. Now, the only reason why he'll be able to get 50% is if you're using that move, that anti-air move that he has access to, where he lifts you way up into the air, and then he, like, drops you back down. So, let's see here. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to... Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace the move, and if you were to use that move, you would get 50% pretty much. Right? And your punish would be very high. The only problem with you using that move is the fact that it limits his ability to get a combo at close range engagements. That's the only problem with this move. So hold on, let me change the move real quick. Now, like I said, I don't really see people talking about this matchup completely, but I feel like Jade can pretty much she can like destroy this nigga's neutral option, because what does Fujin excel at exactly? He excels in the neutral game, right? And he can also play footsies decently well. In close range engagements, he could fight you there because, you know, his dashing is really good, his mobility is pretty good, but overall it's how should I put it? Him fighting you at close range is not necessarily where he wants to be. That's what I believe. Because he's not that good at close range engagement, not completely. But anyway, I'll just show you the combo, and you can lab this if you want. It's really up to you. Doesn't really matter to me. But he would end up getting a really nice combo, which is scary because the reward that he would get, it's risky, right? It's like a high risk, high reward type of situation for this character, right? So I'll just turn this on and then I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. And then you go into that move and he'll get the you see what I mean? And he'll get that kind of damage. So then I'm gonna turn it off, and then I'm gonna go here. Where is it? Let's see if I can time it though. Now keep in mind, he can bait her to do that. And then the reward that he'll get is that he'll be able to do that to her. But the thing is that if she predicts that he's going to stagger it, no matter where he is, she'll always be able to hit him with a blazing nitro kick. And since she has a crushing blow on her blazing temptation move as well, that can cause a dilemma for Fujin, right? And if she was to go for like her razor ring, which is the regular one that goes around her body, it pretty much protects her. So this is just kind of like a scary situation to be in for both players to a certain degree, because she can get like an anti-air combo. But if you mistime this, that's pretty much quick, because it's legit. And there you have it. And that's what he'll get. But if you mistime it, you'll get fucked up. Um, and then on top of that, like, you know, this is what he can do, but it's just like you would have to make a very hard read knowing for a fact that this character is actually going to do that. Um, and the only reason why I say that is because that will lead into an anti-air situation. And then she'll knock you away, and then what will happen is that she'll go into her dodging shadows move, and she completely destroyed your neutral option. Um, and which is the back two, because it pretty much destroys the neutral. Um, and then this will force you to get in on her, and Fujin has a back one that can be used in the footsie play, and then he has like a advancing forward three that can low profile certain mids in the game. But it's like she technically has better range than him to a certain degree, and it seems like he would have to deal with a little bit more stuff than what Jade would have to deal with, and this will force him to actually come in. Um, and if the Fujin player is making correct reads on the Jade player, then yeah, and he gets the Jade player to respect, then yeah, then you know he'll be able to play neutral a little bit more. But if he gets careless and he gets too carried away, then you know he'll get zoned out. She'll space him out, stuff like that. It'll cause a problem. But just in general, if the Jade player is really smart, you know they can take advantage of this situation. I believe Jade is definitely one of the main characters in the game that can deal with Fujin in the neutral. Like I said, I've never really seen any high level players talk about this matchup. I've never really seen um, anybody really go against Fujin with this character. But Jade, like hey, she that nigga, bro. Like she really dangerous. Like she real dangerous. Um, and this is just something that I wanted to talk to you guys about because I was gonna make a video about it when Fujin first came out, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait and to see if somebody will talk about it and stuff like that. And I didn't really see anybody talk about it, which I was actually really surprised. But uh, yeah, um, this is something that I just wanted to bring up real quick when it comes to uh, uh, this situation here. But I definitely think in the neutral, Jade can definitely deal with Fujin. When it comes to footsies, I think Jade can definitely deal with Fujin to a certain degree. And then the thing is that Fujin, he ain't really plus. Like, he not really like, he not really that plus. I mean, he has a string at close range that's plus, which is this string right here. But the downfall of that string is that there's like a gap in it, right? And like if you get flawless blocked, right? If you look, he's -8. And for most characters, that's an easy full combo punish. And for Raiden can go for like his 1-2-1 and he gets a crushing blow. Um, Jade, she's a lot more minus on her plus frame. But it seems like they're both even in close range engagements though. And then when it comes to the footsie play, I feel like Fujin can deal with her to a certain degree when they play in the mid-range engagements. And then when it comes to the neutral, I feel like Jade completely destroys Fujin's neutral ability. Because Fujin and a lot of different matchups can really cause a problem. But here's the thing. I'm not going to say like, you know what, I'll take that back. I'm not going to say like Jade can completely destroy Fujin's neutral options because she would have to make consistent reads knowing what he's going to do when he does it because her rewards are actually pretty good in a way. I feel like they're kind of even in the neutral. I'll be fair about that. But when it comes to playing footsies in the mid-range engagements, I think Jade kind of has Fujin on the ropes a little bit. And when it comes to close-range engagements, I think both of the characters are pretty even. Damage-wise, when it comes to combos and stuff like that, I feel like Fujin wins that. When it comes to crushing blows, I feel like Jade kind of wins that a little bit. When it comes to like zoning in general, like I mean, Jade obviously wins that. You know what I mean? But Fujin has to be careful. He can't just be reckless and just throw out a back two every single time. He has to understand that this is a problem, right? And not many characters can deal with Fujin in the neutral, not completely. Like Jax is a prime example of that shit. Like Jax has a back four too, and it's 11 frames and has good range. He gets like a little bit of a mix up, but the issue with him going for the back four too, which I'll show you guys, is that if he does it because he's trying to advance forward onto Fujin, he's like minus 16 from what I remember, and then if he amplifies it, it's a high. So it's like, dude, you're kind of punishing yourself at this point. You know what I mean? And then like when it comes to Gears, Gears has like a quicksand move that can be used in the neutral, which is pretty good, but that's all he really has. You know what I mean? And Fujin has mind games. You know what I mean? Like he has other options that he has that can pretty much like he can pretty much be like, nah, Gears, like that ain't gonna fly, big homie. Now in close range engagements, however, like Fujin, you know, this nigga gonna have a problem. You know what I mean? Because Gears has better frame data than Fujin in close range engagements, I believe. And when it comes to playing footsies, Fujin's gonna annihilate Gears in the footsie game and in the neutral game. But once Gears gets in, that's when the problem starts. You know what I mean? So if you're using Gears against Fujin, I don't want to admit this, but I think the move you should be using is his one move, right? Which is it's not called quicksand, I don't think. I think it's sand trap or quicksand, whichever move. But he can teleport, and he gets really good damage. He gets a really nice Oki situation, but in a game like this, with the defensive options being like this, it's kind of difficult for him to do that. So like, if Gears was to block, right? Let's see here. Where is that damn move at? Quicksand. Let's see if this is the right move. Okay, well, I'll just have to do it here then. Yep, this is the right move. If I was just to stagger this, so I'll just switch over. It'll be better that way. If I was to stagger this, he's like minus 21. And if I know that when I'm in the neutral, right? I'm in there. We in there, boy. We in there. You see what I'm saying? And if I have a crushing blow, that's his ass, right? So hold on. Let me back out. Let me go to the maximum range. Hold on. I fucked that up. You see what I mean? And Gears is in, and you know he can do his little mix-up options and stuff like that. He can call the problem for Fujin, and now he's in, and that's exactly where Gears wants to be in this matchup. And the reason why I say that is because, nigga, you don't want to deal with Fujin in the neutral. Like you're gonna have a dude. It's gonna be a cold day in hell if you allow Fujin to stay where he wants to stay at. Like your goal as Gears is to get in as much as possible. And then on top of that, you want to limit Fujin's ability to play neutral. You want to carry this nigga to the corner. I mean, if Gears gets in, Fujin's going to be watching out for that because Fujin does not do well in close range engagements against characters like Jax, Jackie Briggs, characters, you know, like Gears that excels in close range engagements. Like when it comes to the Terminator, if he has access to his TDE special move, which is the teleport, this helps him out a lot against a character like Fujin. And I know that, you know, I'm kind of coming for Fujin a little bit, you know what I mean? But this is something that I wanted to talk about when it comes to Fujin, is that you got to understand your character's pros and cons. So, like, let's see here. If Gears was to do, like, I don't know, if he was to do this move, let me switch back over to Gears, actually. What's a good thing for Fujin to do? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when I go for the back two into the back four. Hold up, because I just misspaced that. Okay. Nope, that was the wrong move. Nope, that was the wrong move. So, right here, they'll trade. Which that's not what the Gears player wants, but it's okay for Fujin. To a certain degree. Now, the only problem is that, yeah, you both pretty much get, like, the same damage, technically. As you can clearly see, like, the damage is pretty much equal. But the thing is that the character that got knocked down is Fujin. And the thing is that if Fujin was to get up and immediately press a button, he would kind of have to respect. So technically, it is in Gears' favor, that trade. But see, that's the thing. Fujin don't want that trade. He's like, no, because I cannot allow you to control me in the neutral, right? Because if I get hit with the quicksand move, then he gets in, and I don't want him getting in, right? So what happens here is that Fujin, you know, obviously spices things up a bit, you know. If he knows you're gonna do that, you're probably gonna end up getting crushing blow, right? Now Gears can do something like that, which I found kind of funny, that he can actually do that. But let's see here. Let me see if I can get this. See that? Like Fujin can do that, and he can knock Gears down. But it's like if Gears knows that's coming, get out the air. You see that? Like he can do something like that, and then he can go in for like, you know, whatever combo he wants and stuff like that. And then I'll show you a little bit with Jax. Jax, if he gets in, Fujin's gonna have a cold day in hell. But the thing is that Fujin is not necessarily completely defenseless, and the reason why I say that is due to the fact that there's flawless block gaps in these characters' combo strings, right? And that's actually a really good thing for Fujin because he doesn't really excel in close range engagements like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like him being able to flawless block you is very important. That's a very important thing to understand. So
Fujin. Jax.
Yeah, Jax. That's what I wanted to show off real quick.
Soul Chamber.
So Jax, the only way he would be able to deal with Fujin in the neutral is if he charges up his heated up arms. So that way he can throw out his projectile, because I forgot what his projectile starts up at, but I think it's like 11 frames. I can't remember, but if he has the projectile out, then he has a chance of fighting Fujin in a way in the neutral. But if he doesn't have heated up arms, he's gonna have a problem. But even if he has heated up arms, he has to understand that he could get fucked up, because Fujin can actually go underneath that and hit him. If Jax was to go for the stiff armed move, right? If I was to stagger this, like if I was to do it like right here, right? That's a punish. That's not a punish. You see that? That is not a punish. That was not a punish. The reason why that wasn't a punish is because the first hit didn't hit. See that shit? He's not able to punish me. Which means what? I can flawless block him, or I can block it, and he's minus 16 on block, and this is really beneficial for Fujin, right? I can actually do this, and since my hit advantage is 8 frames, and my back 2 starts at 18 frames, I can move 8 frames before that opponent can, which means that my startup time, if I decide to go for my back 2 again, would actually be 10 frames. And Jax would either have to flawless block or he would have to respect, right? So if I was to do this at range, Jax pretty much committed suicide. And as you can clearly see, he will get punished. Now, if he has heated up arms, this is when things change a little bit. But this is still problematic. So let's see here. We trade. You see that? And we both get the same damage. But see, that's the problem. Fujin don't want that. You see what I mean? Fujin can do that, and if he does that, hey, good morning, man. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? How you doing? So let's see here. Let me see if I can get it. This is going to be kind of difficult because of how minus he is, but I'm pretty sure Jax won't get hit because he kind of like moves backwards when he shoots out his classic you know, his classic Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 projectiles. So let's see. Hold on. Oh shit, I fucked that up. Hold on. Yeah, man. Yeah. So right here, let's see here. It's gonna be kind of difficult. Hold on. Hopefully that works. So right here, it's possible, but it's kind of hard for me to record this, man. Damn, it's going to be hard for me to record that. But it is possible for Fujin to either possibly skywalk, or he can go for the low and he can go underneath. And he might be able to low profile Jax's projectile. So hold on, let me see if that's the case. Yeah, he can low profile that. He can definitely low profile that. I'm gonna do it from afar actually. I wonder if it'll work that way. Oh man, he can low profile that, bro. That's... Oh, can he? Hold up. I can jump over it like that, though. Yeah, he probably can't. That shit seems kind of low to the ground. Yeah, I would have to be able... Yeah, okay. So, he might be able to do it, but I would have to actually be in the middle of me actually doing that slide, and then he might be able to do that. But, this is, I guess this is Fujin, I guess. Because it's like, Fujin doesn't excel in close range engagements. He wants to play footsies with you. He wants to, play the neutral game. And when it comes to certain matchups, there will be characters that will fuck him up. But if Fujin knows about the matchup, or at least the player knows about the matchup, you can flawless block the shit out of the player. You know, all kinds of stuff. Like, if Jax was to get in, obviously Jax can stagger and do all this extra shit and be super annoying. And that allows Fujin to do shit like that. Jax goes for his mix-up shit. He's minus 20. Fujin makes correct read, and as you can clearly see here, you know, he'll get punished with whatever combo. You can actually dash up. He'll get punished with a crushing blow. Yeah, I mean, and then on top of that, Fujin doesn't even need to move. He can actually stay right here if he wants to carry you to the corner. And then he can go in for like whatever combo he wants. And this is different per matchup. It's very important to understand your character and their pros and cons. It's very important to understand that because knowing that makes you a stronger player, I believe. And I'm just, like I said before, I'm really surprised nobody really talks about Jade and Fujin, because I feel like that matchup is kind of even. Because they're both not that good. Well, how should I put it? They're both safe at close range engagements when it comes to certain strings that they have access to, because they don't really have like mix-up situations like that. They both got their own little shit, like their own little staggers. And it's funny because Jade on her multi-kick string, she's +5, and if you flawless block her, she's -10, right? If you flawless block Fujin, keep in mind he's +5, he's only -8, right? So it's only like a 2-frame difference. So they're both even technically. On that. But the thing is that Fujin, however, I feel like he has a better stagger game to a certain degree than Jade does, but that's just my opinion. But it's just, they both seem pretty even at close range. When it comes to the footsie play, it seems decently even, not completely, because I feel like Jade has better options than Fujin. She can space them out a little bit more better than he can. And then on top of that, his Wind Needle gives him good chip damage, and it spaces him out in a way. But the problem is that you can flawless block him, and it causes a dilemma. But in the neutral, they seem decently even. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick and kind of give you guys other examples and stuff like that. You guys can lab that on your own if you want. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this live. If you guys want me to make like more tips and tricks or something like that, or like do some matchup situations and stuff like with this variation and that variation. And as a matter of fact, I had a subscriber of mine actually ask me like a while ago, which variation can beat which variation when it comes to Johnny Cage. And that's interesting that he brought that up, because I was just like, I have all 3 of them right here. This variation is really good. Actually, you know what? This is what I'll do. Okay. Variation, right? He kind of puts the opponent on the ropes, especially when they're low on health and he has access to the brass knuckles and stuff like that. He has like a little bit of a mind game with the meantime. He has some pros and cons in this variation. It kind of sucks that his cage rage is not like a legit pop-up. Yeah, Jade is annoying, bro. Yeah, she's annoying, but it, you know, it is what it is, man. So like, this is more of a pressure type of variation, right? Showstopper is more of like a damage type of variation where he's cashing out on damage. He gets really good options. He can side switch you in this variation. which is actually really good, and he still gets really good damage. He gets a good amount of space away from you. He gets access to like a legit reset, to where he jails you with a standing 2, and if you try to flawless block him, he can actually throw you. Um, that's actually really good. His crushing blows are actually a lot better in this variation as well. His damage is insane. He gets access to special combos, and for people who don't know what special combos are, it's where you can't necessarily break out of this character's combos, and that's actually pretty fucked up, and you need to fix that. And like I said, with this one, he has some things that are good about it, but overall, I feel like, you know, this variation here, it needs a little bit of work. Like his crushing blow in his meantime needs to be fixed to where if he hits you with that parry twice in a row, he should be able to get a crushing blow. Now, this parry, however, is really good because it helps him switch sides with you and he can get a combo that way, right? But you have to be very careful because you're wide open. Now, he can't really go through a lot of gaps in this game, not like certain characters can, like Sonya Blade and Liu Kang. So that's very important to understand. The only way he can get that crushing blowout is in the beginning of the match. The brass knuckles, the only time you should be using it is when the opponent is decently low on health. I made a video where I did a brass knuckle setup, and it can work, especially when you win the first round and the opponent's about to lose the second round, because they're going to have to make a decision there. Either get chipped out, or you're going to have to forward roll, or you're going to have to up 3 me, because if you go for an up 2, I can shoot through that. So you know that, you know, you're going to go for the up 3. And if I know that, I'm going to flawless block you, and you're going to lose either way. So keep that stuff in mind. When it comes to the cage rage, you want to kind of like how should I put it? You want to mix it in with like his 4-2-1, the strings that have access to mids. I mainly do it with his 4-2-1, and the reason why is because Johnny Cage kind of spins around in the middle of his strings, and it kind of throws the opponent off. Now, he gets pretty good damage. Off of, you know, the cage rage, but I wish it was kind of like a pop-up, you know what I mean? To where he can get a little bit more damage off of that, because he has to charge it up 3 times in a row. Now, don't get it twisted. He's safe, right? But it's like he's not really safe because that move is really reactable, right? When it comes to outtake, this is where he becomes a neutral god, right? He can already play footsies really well. But in the neutral, this is when he becomes more of a threat. And when he fights you in close range engagements, that's where the Rising Star comes into play, right? He has a 9-frame mid. Now, there's a lot of people that think he doesn't deserve to have a 9-frame mid and stuff like that, because he has a really good down 4 that jails you. But what people fail to understand is that there is a flawless block system in this game. Now, I'm not saying everybody can flawless block. I'm not saying that. Because it's not that easy to do, because you don't know what they're going to do, especially if you're going against a character that has a 50-50. It makes it very difficult to pinpoint what they're trying to do. And since this game is revolved around a lot of strike throw mind games, it can kind of be difficult at times. But it's very possible to flawless block Johnny Cage if he commits into the 4-3, because you already know that's what he's going to do. So it limits his ability to kind of like apply pressure or to do something. You know what I mean? Yeah, Johnny Cage has really good pokes. Like his 4-3 is a good poke. It's super safe. He can stagger it, and go into a throw, or he can hit you with a mid and get a combo. And then if you block the full 1, he can space you out, and that is problematic for certain characters because they don't deal with situations like that well. But it's like, in this variation, he's more of a neutral god, right? So I feel like, honestly, and you know, some people will probably disagree, but I honestly feel like Showstopper Showstopper can beat Shock Jock, I believe. But it all depends on the player. You understand what I'm saying? And how experienced they actually are in the game. Because it's very possible to beat somebody with this variation right here. And, you know, this variation or this variation. But in all honesty, I feel like Outtake obviously can beat Shock Jock. the startup time of his straight force balls is like 14 frames, I think, from what I remember. And his low force ball and his high force ball not only controls space in the air as well, but it starts up at 11 frames. And he can actually get a combo off of his projectiles from far away. And he gets a really nice hit advantage. He gets really good chip damage, pushback, block stun, plus frames, all that extra good shit. When he gets in, right, this is where the dilemma comes into play for Showstopper and Shock Jock. He has a 9-frame mid. Now, he doesn't get much off of this 9-frame mid, not like he did before, where he can get a combo. But what he would get is like a knockdown situation, which is beneficial for him to a certain degree. Now, one of the biggest things to take of note from this particular situation is that Johnny Cage has major weaknesses, right? Even though he's a strong character, and the reason why is because he has safe pressure, he has really good footsies, his neutral game is really good, he has good walk speed, he has good damage, mainly when he gets you into the corner. He has a restand situation, which is really, really good, and especially in a game like this, right? Yeah, it's like I would have to say Showstopper and Outtake would completely annihilate Shock Jock. Because Shock Jock has good things about it, but it's not that good. Especially if you don't know what you're doing with it. But Showstopper, I think Showstopper could actually compete with this variation right here. I honestly believe that. The only reason why I say that is because if Johnny Cage touches you, that's your ass. Like that, like, dog, you gonna feel that shit. And then on top of that, he has the ability to make it to where you can't break out of combos. And since you can't break out of combos in this game, when somebody puts you into a special combo, you know, that can cause a problem. Hello, GSR, what's good, mate? Hey, what's going on with you, mate? What's going on, bro? How you doing? Like, it's kind of difficult to talk about this because it's like Johnny Cage overall is a really good character. Because he plays the game's meta like really well compared to other characters in the game. I mean, Outtake, I feel like if you manage to get in on Outtake, you still have to deal with him when it comes to playing footsies. Not only that, you still have to deal with him in close range engagements, and that's where this becomes a problem. So I feel like Outtake can beat Showstopper and Shock Jock. But I feel like if you use the Showstopper variation correctly, you can cause problems. But see, here's the thing. In Shock Jock, he has access to a parry, and that can condition the opponent to believe that you're actually going to go for that fucking parry. So that can allow you to go and take another turn. You could pretty much steal a turn because you have this fucking parry. And he can get 30% as well. So, I mean, but overall, I do feel like Outtake is the better variation based on the fact that he has Rising Star. He is a lot better in neutral when he has access to the low force ball and the high force ball and stuff like that. But if you were to do like a customized variation, I feel like Outtake would get destroyed like very easily. So, I mean, I do feel like Outtake can really fuck up both of these variations though. But it's Showstopper, it got some dirty shit in it. And then like Shock Jock, it definitely has something in there. But yeah, I would have to say Outtake, because if you're playing a keep away game and you're being like not predictable and shit, it's very difficult for a player to get in on you in this variation. I think Sonic Fox did a good job showing that. Quite all right, thank you, bro. Yeah, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, I feel like Outtake though is problematic when it comes to these two variations. But it's like if you can make good reads in this variation, you can deal with somebody in the Outtake variation. The only problem is that you're gonna have to be able to get in that correct range to duck underneath this character's projectiles. But I that's kind of debatable though. Like it's between I'm gonna just say it's between Outtake and what's this other variation name? Showstopper. I'm gonna just say between those two, because you know if you apply them correctly, nigga, you gonna do some damage. But if you do like a customized variation, man, like a clear example is like what exactly? Like, let me take this off. Like if you were to do Pissed Off, which he gets really good damage on this, and it's an armor breaking move. And it's a really good combo ender, right? So if you were to use Pissed Off and you were to use Throwing Shades, which makes this Fatal Blow situation even more scarier, and you were to use Rising Star, I personally think Outtake variation would get destroyed. Or it would at least be even to a certain degree. Because you have to keep in mind, when he throws out the back 4-2, which is his straight force ball, it comes out really fucking quickly. And the thing is, you can neutral couch underneath it, right? And the thing is that in the outtake variation, however, you don't necessarily get the spacing situation, right? But the other issue is that Johnny Cage has major whiffing issues still in this game. So that's one thing that Johnny Cage has over himself, is that you're not necessarily going to be able to hit this dude with a straight force ball. So, I mean, that's the downside of it. But overall, if you have that 9-frame mid, you're technically good to go. But, I mean, that's just my opinion. I definitely think Outtake is still a problem, though. Showstopper can probably cause an issue. But yeah. What else is there, man? Yo, you seen the Mortal Kombat? Yeah, I seen the movie trailer, bro. They said it was a new age. There's a guy named Cole, I think that's his name. He's a new character. So I'm kind of interested in seeing like what's going to happen with that. But keep in mind, I'm kind of paying attention to what they're saying, rather than paying attention to the actual trailer itself, because they said a new age. Keep in mind, they said a new age, and if you pay attention to the story mode in this game, right, they actually said, he said Cole Young. Oh, man. So, if you pay attention to what they did in the story mode, they have it to where Kung Lao is going to be trained underneath Liu Kang, or Fire God Liu Kang, right? And then in the movie, they have it to where there's this guy named Cole, and he's been summoned, or he's been chosen to be the champion. So that leaves me a little confused on the future of Mortal Kombat, because I was really paying attention to that. I'm like, wait, hold on, Cole? I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And then, then you have Kung Lao. Like, hold up, you literally have like Melina looks awful though. They did say it's a new age, so I'm gonna I'm gonna cut them some slack on that though. They did say it was a new age, but what I'm a little confused about is that
part 2 credits.
What I'm a little confused about is that they stated,
checkmate.
Where is it? They stated that Kung Lao pretty much is going to be like the champion of Mortal Kombat, and he's gonna train Kung Lao. I can't remember which one it was, but he's gonna train Kung Lao. He put his hand on Kung Lao's shoulder, and he was like, "Bruh, come with me." You know what I mean? So it's like, and then I saw Goro, and he looks sick. He looks fucking sick. Now, when it comes to Sub-Zero, I wonder if Sub-Zero is an actual villain now, because they didn't hint at Quan Chi at all. Like, they didn't hint at Quan Chi in that trailer at all. All I saw was a bunch of Sub-Zero. Like most of the scenes, Sub-Zero was in it. I wonder because if you think about it, Sub-Zero, right, took away Jax's arms, right? And I thought that was interesting because last time I checked, Ermac was the one that took away Jax's arms, right? So I'm like, and they did say it's a new age. That's what I'm saying. That's I can't stress that enough. They said new age, like it's a new era, pretty much, just like this game. And it has been hinted that obviously the next Mortal Kombat is going to be a new era and stuff. Obviously, they're gonna have classic characters in there and stuff like that. They're not just gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, fuck these other characters because, and he's the dark version of so. Oh, okay, so it's not Shang Tsung. Okay. So are they taking it? Hold on. So I wonder if they're, if it's Bihan, are they taking it back to the old days of Mortal Kombat, or is it like, huh? Because if it's Bihan, which is,
Noob Saibot.
so I'm assuming they're taking it way back. So I'm assuming if Scorpion's family got killed, it was actually by
Noob Saibot.
AKA. So it was actually by him this time, because Bihan, I mean, he actually took away Jax's arms, and since it's a new era, I mean, you know, that's interesting. And then Melina, I'm a little confused on Melina. I'm not gonna say that I'm not like happy about Melina and the way she looks completely, because they did say it's a new era, but it's like if she's like part Turcotten, it's like what's up with her teeth? I think my main issue was her teeth, and that was about it. I don't think I had an issue other than that. So that's interesting. You seem to be the first person to point out the new age thing. Yeah, like that's the main thing that I was looking at was the new age shit, because I was like, if it's a new age, that means there's newer characters. Now, I don't know if you guys seen in the trailer. I wish I can show it up here in a clearer version, but I can't. There was certain characters that was technically revealed, but you didn't really get a good complete look at them. I think it was two different scenes where it was two different characters in there. Now the thing is that Raiden, right? Because Goro looks fucking amazing. But the thing about Raiden though, they said it was a new age. So I'm wondering if this is the young version of fucking Raiden. I guarantee you that's the young version of Raiden. It has to be, because that dude looks young as fuck. He looks young as fuck in that trailer. So I'm assuming that's the young version of Raiden, because Kung Lao and Liu Kang, they're the young version of themselves. They're not old where they look like this, where they have gray hairs and shit like that. They don't have none of that. Like Johnny Cage, like hold on, where is he? He has gray hairs in his head. This is when they're older. This nigga's easily in his 40s or his 50s. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're taking it way back. That's what they're doing. Before Bihan actually got, deep fried by fucking Scorpion. I think that's what they're doing. They're going back. That probably explains why Johnny Cage isn't in the movie. It's been hinted that he's supposed to be in the movie, but I don't know if he actually is, because they said Reptile, son. That means he's going to be in the new Mortal Kombat. Reptile was revealed in that trailer. Goro is in that trailer. Raiden is in that trailer. Melina, Sonya Blade, Jax, Sub-Zero, Scorpion. So I wonder if Kung Lao is the old version of himself. I wonder if it's... That can't be possible. No, that's not possible. Is it this version of Kung Lao where he's younger, or is it the old version of Kung Lao? Like his ancestor, the one where he summons and shit? Because I didn't see Jade, but they did have two characters in the trailer that was not completely revealed, but they were in the trailer. I seen that shit. They were like in the shadows. Shang Tsung also is shown in the... Yeah, exactly. Shang Tsung, that was another one that I forgot. Shang Tsung was definitely in that trailer. Shang Tsung is... He looks like this. Hold on, let me see if I can get the costume. Because that costume that Shang Tsung had on, it looked like this. That costume looked exactly like this. Of course, it's not the original Shang Tsung, but it looks like the younger version of Shang Tsung. So it seems like they're taking it way back, because if it's the actual brother of the good Sub-Zero, right? That's a clear indication they're taking it way back. And I ain't gonna lie, Sub-Zero, that dude is going hard. He cut that motherfucker arm off and froze the blood and fucking made some type of frozen spike wall. And I thought he was gonna stick to it, but he threw his ass through it. I was like, bro. I was like, bro. I was like, bro. That was dirty. That was dirty. I don't think they needed a new protagonist for the MK movie. Yeah. Now, I don't think they do. I wonder if they're gonna bring back certain characters that we haven't seen in a long time. It'd be interesting to see Kai in there, Havoc. Dude, if they bring Havoc out, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my shit. I wonder if they're gonna bring Ermac out because they had a statue of Shao Kahn that looked this.
Shao Kahn.
So I'm really curious about this movie, man. Because that movie is going to explain what characters are going to be in Mortal Kombat, in like the new Mortal Kombat when they actually create it, and that's what I'm paying attention to as well. Because it is a little confusing how they stated like in this game, Kung Lao is going to be trained by Fire God Liu Kang. Now in the movie, Liu Kang and Kung Lao, right? They're young. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little confused on that. I don't know how that's going to work because they have a character named Cole that's like the chosen one, I'm assuming. So that's kind of like, it seems like he's a chosen one, and I don't like that. And the reason why is because it seems like a smack in the face to Kung Lao. Because I feel like it's time for Kung Lao to have his moment to shine in Mortal Kombat. I honestly believe that. So I don't know if Cole is actually going to be the one to save Earthrealm, but I hope it's Kung Lao because Kung Lao looked badass. So yeah, that's everything that I want to talk about for right now. I just wanted to talk about the Jade thing, but I kind of made this live a little bit longer than expected. But hopefully you guys learned something and you enjoyed the live. Yeah, I think that's it, man. Wait, there are reports for Nitara and Rico to be in. Oh man, that's gonna be. Oh man, that's gonna be some shit, bro. I'm really hoping they return Havoc, man. He is one of the most underrated characters I have ever seen in my entire life. That dude should have easily been in Mortal Kombat. Like he has potential of being a great Mortal Kombat character. But anyway, oh man, my internet shit is acting weird. So I think I'm gonna end the live right now. I'll just catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.